Day 2 here in Prescott, Northern Arizona. Fastpitch softball. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. A lot of great action yesterday, and the cobwebs are definitely off. Joining me, the non-alter ego, Brian Georges is here this morning. Back again. He didn't sleep. He just stayed here up in the press box here and made sure everything's ready to go. As we have Captain, who is up to bat right now, taking on Delsante. And on the, hey, now she's got her correct number for Delsante. Allison Wayan, who was wearing number 12 yesterday, decided to put 27 on. So you must have got to the coaches.
Yeah, well, you know.
But she did pitch real quick, very beautifully yesterday, I will say that.
She did. And it's, hey, what a great morning for softball, huh?
Oh, yeah, this close to 70-degree weather, I'm guessing. And leading off for Captain, the lefty, that is number 24, the Horizon player, Sarah Van Wickler. And I like her interesting info about me. She let everybody know that not only does she have 2 dogs, but she has 2 bratty dogs. They're high. See, we're already starting off good with that as Van Wickler goes down.
It's frozen on that outside
Yes.
corner. I believe that's this young lady's cutter that she throws, and it's a pitch that I am not familiar with in the game of softball. We'll have Coach Anna Welsh from Arizona Christian University on in a little bit. Maybe she'll be able to provide us some insight.
So 1 down here, and the first of the morning games. Always great to. It's like that, especially growing up. Everybody was complaining about morning games. I love being the first on the field, no matter what it was. While playing soccer, I love being the first on the field. But that being said, with our entire Floodstream crew, Brian Georges and Michael Caratinuto, we'll have Coach, he said, Anna Welch with us as up to bat now. And this captain team is very interesting. There's a lot of them that I was seeing last night that love history and math, so I'm pretty good with that. When I saw the English and science, I was kind of taken by that one. So my Boosted fouls that down the right field line.
Well, what an exciting young athlete. We saw a little bit of everything from Amaya yesterday, some plays in the hole, flashing the leather around.
And Amaya's got it right. Her favorite vacation spot, Disneyland. You win. That's all I have to say, is you definitely win as that pitch in the dirt. But your overall synopsis of yesterday, your overall synopsis of what you thought of the action. I know we talked, you know, maybe a few little cobwebs, but overall looking pretty solid. Well, at least to me, but I'm up here.
I like the long ball, and we probably saw about 15-plus home runs on this field yesterday, so it was exciting for me. We did see some good pitching. You know, I think what we had discussed, Michael, yesterday in the broadcast, the pitchers about a week ago seemed to be a little bit ahead of the hitters, but the hitters have since caught up. You wouldn't know it watching this young lady throw the ball right now. Allison off to a great start, 2 up, 2 down.
So Boosted pops out and now headed to the plate, number 40. And that is Jolie Benson, who another person likes to work out. So
if you just look at her, you can tell.
She looks like she has definitely kept up well over the pandemic.
Yeah, you know, if you meet her in person, it's even more impressive. She's such a strong, lean physique on her. And yet, I mean, you look at her and you go, wow, this kid, she's got the height, she's got size, she's got speed. Great smile on her face, and this is a kid that loves to be out here. I mean, of course, which one of them out there doesn't, right?
And, well, she puts that into left field. Oh, almost a diving play, but off the heel of the glove, so she will end up on first base.
That was a great effort out there in left field. Find out who we got out there defensively for us in left field. Make that good diving effort into the gap. So we're going to watch Jolie Benson down there over at first base as in steps.
Yeah, Skylar Williams.
Yep.
What is okay, so obviously I was teasing you last night, but I meant to ask you. I mean, school-wise, usually you don't see higher numbers. So how is it, do they get to pick their numbers? I mean, 66, 80, I like it. 77.
Skylar with the big 3-run bomb yesterday in the game against Day. It's a difference maker right there. But anyways, to your point, yeah. So Skylar And all these girls, they pick their numbers. So you go to college, a lot of times they just say, here's what we got available in your
Especially when
size.
you're a freshman, it's like, here you go.
Yeah.
We recruited you, we love you, but guess what? You do not get first pick of numbers. I definitely know how that goes.
Yeah, and obviously in the travel scene, I got kids that have some pretty unique numbers. One of them is 88. You see a lot of 99s out there. You see the zeros, the double zeros, and that's just them showing their personality out there with their numbers.
Yeah, obviously for captain Ariana Tamaro with the number 99.
Love it.
So, and it's because they're talking about traveling club. I told you to volleyball. A lot of times in club volleyball, I had a team that there was no number actually. The lowest number on the team was 27. So everything was 27 and up, which is, again, different to see. But if like I said, I'm with you on the college because freshmen walk in and it's like, it's my favorite number. Great, have a good day. Some junior or senior has it. So.
Unless you're, 6'5" and you're throwing 72 miles an hour, I'm pretty sure you get whatever number you want.
Okay.
Coach Welsh right here in my ear saying, if you're listening right now and you want to come to Arizona Christian, as Brian described right there, we will get you that number. No, totally kidding. She would not do that to the rest of her teammates.
Well, the Sabino High School player on the mound for captain, that is number 3, Riley Nielsen, who she's been playing softball since she was 5. So she didn't even have to play anything else. She picked it up and said, yep, I'm good.
Yeah, I really like this kid. She's got a full arsenal of pitches here. Good stature on her.
And we talked to the speedster last night, the leadoff, Olivia De La Cruz. Talking about, so guessing she got a good night of sleep because I know you want to.
I'm a fan.
She gets a signal.
I'm a fan. By the end of this weekend,
triple.
If she hits another triple, I'm getting an autograph.
I'm just saying, if it's a single, though, you said I'm waving her around. She can make it.
If it's a single, she's going for 2. She is lightning fast. She has a beautiful looking swing. Hands up high. Love seeing that. Barrel up above the ball. Take a look at it right here. Got a feeling she's going to put something in play for us.
As there's a strike there by Nielsen on the outside corner. Hey, De La Cruz's favorite movie, kind of fitting for this unfortunate time, but 5 feet apart.
Yeah.
I think she probably just did that to probably be funny after talking to her last night, as she lightly grounds that to first, and coming over as second baseman to cover and gets the flip.
De La Cruz quickly looking over at Adriana Coira, just making sure she's okay. De La Cruz going hard all the way, but we had her up in the press box yesterday and had an opportunity to speak with her, and I tell you, what a delight. So quiet,
Absolutely.
So reserved, so nice. Everything she said, it seemed too nice. You asked her about trash talking, and
she's like, I can't say anybody.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, they're trash talking the other team. It's okay. But I like that. She stayed true to it. So couldn't get out of her. That was Olivia Listordo, who happens to be the tallest kid in her family.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. She towers over me. I think she's 6'1" or 6'2".
Well, listed at 6'1", but yeah, she she's got good balance too, because she said she also danced for 9 years. So again, things that translate into sports. As that pitches in there, as that is Tamaro now, who, well, to your point, Brian, was very aggressive at the plate yesterday, because I don't think she saw more than 3 pitches at a bat, as that catches the outside corner for a strike. Yeah, she was swinging early in the count like you were talking about yesterday. I mean, if the pitch is there, being aggressive.
Yeah, I like it. I mean,
and
there it is again.
Into center field, as Tamaro will come up with the base hit. Little bobble out there. She rounds first, but strolls back, so has the base hit.
You know, what I see with her thus far, I mean, we've seen several at-bats from her now. Tamaro, she's a scrappy player. I guess that's how I'd describe her, and some people take offense to that. I wouldn't. You look at her, you go, she's gonna put some muscle on that frame there. She's got good speed, great bat control. You know, demonstrates, you know, an ability to put the ball in play and make things happen out there.
Well, Vorseth on the first pitch. They get the force out at second, as Tamaro with a nice slide maybe helped delay that throw a teeny bit. So Vorseth is safe at first. And for Vorseth, Wow, playing almost every sport. She played baseball, basketball, soccer, swim. Oh, and just because she had no time, threw a little taekwondo in.
I like that. Used to have a martial artist on my team. Actually had two of them. One of them was a world-class martial artist. She's now up at Embry-Riddle, Ari Pena, and she did everything, staff and nunchucks, and she was on ESPN and stuff like that. And I met her, actually. She hadn't even ever played the game of softball. She was 14 years old, but I go, if you can do all that stuff, I think we can show you how to throw a ball.
Exactly. As Grace Rana now in the batter's box. Nielsen with the pitch, a little bit outside.
Yeah, you got a great middle infield combination out there. We saw a great play by Adriana Cuita, staying back on that ball, making sure that she gets the sure out over at second base. And they did come close to turning two on it. But, again, Amaya Busted over there at shortstop, heck of an athlete. And then Adriana Cuita over at second base. And we highlighted her a few times, and I'll keep talking about that one. Number 1 out of 724 students in her school, or in her class. I mean, whew.
I mean, I was not number 1 in my 735-person class. I wasn't even in the top half, and I had a 3.8. So do the math on that one.
Yeah, and look how it turned out for you. You're stuck in a booth with me for a little bit.
I mean, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Get to work with you guys in the sun.
Yeah. No, this is great. Again, you'll hear me all day long. You talked about early morning risers, not liking that early morning game. There was so much energy from these gals, and I kept hearing the same thing over and over and over again when you talked to them about their time off in the quarantine period and then being out here, and just heard so many of them say, we just feel I'm so happy to be out here. I feel so blessed to be playing softball right now. What we've got going on right now is great. And I'm not going to lie, I had a hard time sleeping last night with excitement. I was excited for the next game. So when you said I slept up here in the booth, I could have.
Well, Riley,
I probably should have. My wife wanted me there, I think.
Riley Nelson at the plate with runners on second and third for Delsante. Looking to try to get on the board here in the bottom of the first.
And
but
I feel bad for this poor lady because I kept mixing her up with Riley Nielsen.
Oh, Riley, no. Yeah.
So we've got Riley Nielsen out
pitching,
on the mound,
yes.
and we've got Riley Nelson at the plate. And if you look at the two of them, I mean, just similar build, similar stature.
Whoa.
The wild pitch gets away, but
that was a hit the mascot one. That was a hit the mascot.
Anna's here in the background saying trick play. Might have been.
You want me to do what?
Let's
throw the next one at the mascot. For those of you listening that don't get that, come on. Go watch Bull Durham. It's a classic. One of the girls last night was reading her favorite movie was A League of Their Own, and she, as Nelson draws the walk from Nielsen, but A League of Their Own, and I'm like, oh, Tom Hanks, and I mean, just some of the best comedy ever.
Yeah, no doubt.
A great movie. I mean, obviously based on a true story, and again, just the wherewithal of it.
And I got to apologize for the last half of the inning when Allison Way was out there on the mound. I was talking about a cutter. It's not Allison that throws the cutter. It's Riley Nielsen.
Yes,
correct?
that throws the cutter.
And you and I talked before the broadcast. Yeah. I mean, I see these teams play quite often. I know a lot of these young ladies.
Yeah, because it's listed she can throw a rise, a curve, and the drop and curve.
Yeah.
Which, again, some have said they can throw that. I don't know if we've seen that, but that's what they were listing. But
yeah,
they said her velocity is improving. The way that hit the backstop, I would not want to have been the batter and have that drill me in the leg.
You know, I've had her in camps, and I've seen her throwing 59 to 61 very consistently with a lot of those hard pitches. There's the up pitch right there. Just having a little hard time finding her release point right here. She's got a good catcher back there, number 22, who Emily Rodriguez was. I mixed her up with Skylar. Emily Rodriguez is the one that hit that big 3-run homer last night. Was she not?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's okay if you slap me in the face if I get it wrong, Michael. Wake me up.
Hey, man, I was calling you your alter ego for the first. That was just because your wife told me to pick on you for. No, I'm just kidding.
Of course she would.
I have nothing.
She would do that.
I didn't even get to talk to her. I just, like I said, echoed happy anniversary, 21 years. So 21 years in one day. Look at that.
Yep. Still together.
Oh, and going into right field, a line drive by Kingston, almost caught. One run is in. The second run is in. Kingston stays on first, and there is another runner on third, and almost a catch out there in right field. That ball was just dying quickly, and can't tell if that's 48.
It was Kingston with the line drive to right field, right? Yep. I'm going to say it's probably, I believe that's Jolie Benson out there in right field.
40, yeah, it's not an 8. It's not an 8, it's a 0. Jolie Benson to play. So Nielsen, well, 2 runs in as that gets popped to Lostordo, who makes the final out. That was Natalia Delsante with the pop out there to end the inning. But the damage is done with 2 runs in.
Yeah, I'll say as much again about the broadcast crew over here from Floodstream. They catch all of the shots that you really need to get, the dugouts, the body language, the things that if I'm a college coach and I'm trying to recruit this right now, I'm going to come into this watching on television or watching a broadcast skeptical, going, how do I recruit watching on air? Well,
right, because it is, I mean, broadcast-wise, if people are looking like, oh, can I get a copy of that? Like, it's different than recruiting film that you would look at in a lot of, I mean, I just think of different sports, how certain cameras are set up to get the whole field so you can literally get every movement, but you can still, again, if you're experienced, I know what you're going to go with. Yeah. If you're experienced, you'll be able to pick stuff up.
And that's exactly it. And, we talked to him about the importance of a few things. We have a great college advisory board that's helped us thus far get to this point with what we're doing here in the Northern Arizona League and the Elite Summer Fast Pitch Series. And a big point of emphasis was I need to know something about the girls out there. And the way I learn about them is through their body language. And obviously if they get to talk to them. And these guys have been so flexible. We've asked them to get shots of the dugouts. We've asked them to get shots of the player interactions out on the field, shots in between innings. And I love it. I can just watch on the screen. It's kind of hard for me to actually watch the game that's right in front of me. I like watching the broadcast. That's how I know they're doing a great job with it.
And so up to bat is Olivia Lostordo, the first baseman. Excellent size, strong and powerful. Huge upside, saying for a scouting report. And the way she's defensively, was seeing her last night, the way she's played at first and swings through that pitch from Wayant for strike 1. But she's able to lay off that pitch, which is a little high for ball 1.
This kid's come in focused today, I'll tell you that much. She's throwing her full repertoire of pitches. She's moving her around the plate. She likes the morning game, I think. Great off-speed pitch right there. Did not miss by much. Liv, she made sure she caught me on the way in, made sure to give me a hard time about the broadcast yesterday.
Oh, really? Why is that?
No, she said, hey, great job with the commentary, but I don't know. I think she was
trying to butter you up.
Yeah,
trying to butter you up so when you play.
This is the best player on earth at the plate. No, you know what?
No, for when you play her,
she could turn out to be that good, though. You can't teach size, and, again, obviously you can see that just by watching the broadcast. But, she's got a nice linear swing. At contact, she stays through the ball. Saw her use the whole field yesterday, and she's not out there just swinging for the fences, which you'd think. But when she does connect, the ball goes. And, I don't care how good the camera crew is. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to keep a camera on it long enough. That ball's going to carry like a comet. But
the off-speed pitch right there got her as Allison Wayant. Again, the pitchers, and she's starting it early. The organized chaos of the strike zone, because a pitcher that can do that, and even at the again, they're in high school. When I was at high school games like I was telling you about, I was just seeing some pictures. It's like, oh, this is their strong point where they like to deliver pitches. And the coaches, of course, you coaches constantly sandbag. So I go with that. And then she's just all over the strike zone like she's playing like tic-tac-toe. And doesn't I
believe we have Riley Nielsen
at
the plate.
That is Riley Nielsen for captain, a fellow pitcher. But yeah, the way they're at and you put batters, again, you want to be aggressive, and all of a sudden you're thinking outside and the ball just crashes inside. That was my problem too, outside of swinging at pitches that were up at eye level, because I'm like, oh my God, look at this, I can hit it. I would literally, most times would only take 3 swings. If I fouled off, I might get like 4 or 5, because I wanted to hit, I wanted to be aggressive.
Sounds like you swung and missed a lot.
I did.
That's why you're up here with us and
my
not
coach,
the pros.
My coach is one thing because, that goes into right field. That's going to be fair.
Ball is in fair territory.
And Nielsen will round
Possible chance
first.
for 3 here. We're going to see how she runs here. Nope.
No, that comes in, and she has a stand-up double, though. And we'll see if we have a courtesy runner for the pitcher.
That's what you like to see right there. I mean, and this is something we talked about in yesterday's broadcast as well, is a pitcher that can also swing the stick. And she's out there helping her own cause. I liked that Delsante put a couple runs up early because I like offense. And now, you've seen these guys, they got to crawl right back here. So I hope we have a good back and forth game.
And if I'm wrong, but on the replay, it almost looked like it was all arms, like she thought the pitch was somewhere else, kind of stayed back, and then just literally punched it into right field. As now up to the plate, we have Elliott Smith from Xavier. Great speed.
Yes, young
First
lady.
you see about her, and she definitely is. I said improving as a converted lefty.
Yeah.
Does that mean batting wise, obviously?
Yeah.
Wow.
So when you do have speed, depending on the age, and if maybe from the right, maybe you've got some holes in your swing, or technique is off. Sometimes you'll convert a player and just reteach them how to swing. But also, I mean, when you put them on the left side of the dish, they're 3-4 feet closer to first base. And when you've got speed, and this game was 60-foot base paths, that's a big difference. We're going to see it. No, not right there, but.
Well, she fouls it off. But, yeah, she was pretty far down the baseline before that even got into the glove, as Van Wickler, actually the courtesy runner for Nielsen at second base. So 2-2 count now to Smith.
And to develop, to just switch and to develop into a left-handed hitter from the right side and a slapper, it takes so much time and so much patience. And at this level of softball, it also takes good coaching.
Right.
A good coach, by that I mean, not just technique, but giving them the opportunities.
Right, but you bring up a point, too, because when you get to a certain age, and I was going to mention about positions as Wayan delivers, and, well, Smith just slaps it right back to her. But Van Wickler heads over to third, so now a chance to get a runner in, as coming up to the plate will be Brooklyn Flores.
Something we saw a lot of yesterday, a lot of hard choppers, and we've seen so many speedy lefties out here. I'm really hoping to see one of them put a bounce slap down, a chop slap, and take advantage of this hard surface out here. And again, the crew has done a phenomenal job with the surface. The field is what it is. It's just underneath that half inch or inch of light loose clay right there. It's concrete, and so when you see that, and especially if you are a lefty and you're supposed to be that triple threat, those are the things you want to see. You want to see them identify those elements and take advantage. So any of those kids out there that are listening or watching, put a good bounce down for us, huh? It's a good chop
But I was
slap.
going to say, too, when you get to a certain age, you're like, I'm a right-handed hitter, I'm not hitting left-handed. It's gonna deter me at the plate.
It takes a special person.
And even like playing certain positions, too, because that's one thing I think across a lot of sports. I mean, especially, like I said, growing up having played soccer, you'd be like, no, I played center mid. No, I'm a center midfielder. Like, but you talk to coaches at all sports, like, no, they're playing midfield, but they can move them around, but they're equally dominant at each. Yeah, they might be a teeny bit better at their natural position. But same thing in softball, they're like, oh, somebody comes in, and you're not just putting somebody there like, oh, we can fill space defensively. So the more positions you can play, obviously, I would think the more marketable you are.
Yep. And Coach Anna Welsh from ACU back here going, yes. I can't wait to get her on the mic. She's dying to let us know how this game is really done and how it's really evaluated. But I know one thing I think anybody in coaching can agree to. When you ask a student athlete what position you play and they say, wherever you need me, coach, you just sign right here. You're on the team.
Flores fouls second pitch in a row off there.
There is nothing that'll substitute a good human being of good character that has athletic qualities and that mindset to be a team-first player. Give me 15 of those. We saw a lot of that yesterday with Maddie Lung out there. And, again, her coach, Nathan Chestnut, describing her as just kind of one of the hearts and souls of that team out there. And she's small in stature, and, doesn't look like the most flashy player until you watch her a little bit, and then you go, man, these guys are in a pickle. Second and third, no outs, and Maddie Lung is up.
Right.
This kid is going to deliver right here. She's nails. And, yeah, so that's one of those kids where I am sure if you asked her, Coach, Coach says, hey, kid, what position do you play? I think she'd say, wherever you need me.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
here's our
turn
hero
on the
right
rock,
here,
yeah,
right?
Emily Rodriguez, who had
Just
the blast last night. Ooh, well,
Oh,
definitely
look at the
swinging
repeat
for
right
the,
there.
3-run dinger right there as Van Wickler's on third. And
on that swing right there, this is a young lady after my own heart, coming out of her shoes on the first pitch. I say it all the time. Early and often on offense, you're going to get some of the best pitches to hit early in the count. It's green or red. Green or red. If that's in your green zone, I don't care where that zone is. You talked about you like the ball at your eye level. Hey, if you can drive it, then hit it at your eye level. So I don't care if it's over her head. If she knows she can tattoo one over her head, go for it.
throw down to second, and the Van Wickler will come home as trying to pick off Flores, but the throw, well, they made the throw. I know you were calling for it yesterday instead of giving the base, but the run comes home.
Well,
there.
what happens there, and I mean, again, early in the season, situational play, and we need that. You need to work on some things. So you got a first and third situation. We need a higher throw from the catcher right there. If that's where it all starts. So when she puts that ball in the dirt, now the fielder has to kill it, then come back up. I mean, and so the opposing team, obviously, it's a win-win for them. They're okay with trading an out for a run.
Right.
But now they've scored the run on that play because it was not well executed on the defensive side, and now you've got a runner at scoring position, and now you're talking about base hit right here. Plates another run home.
Well, Rodriguez fouled that off, and we'll see if it's Allison Wayne. Looks like been trying to jam her inside. Oh, and a line drive down to first, and wow, just caught right there.
But, if your captain's team, you're walking away, that's what you need to do. Put one on the board. It was a 2-0 game coming in. It's 2-1. They cut the lead in half, and now you've got a great ball game ahead of you right there. So, hey, they stole a run right there, and they're happy with it.
As Riley Nelson had the ball driven right at her, but makes the play.
Well,
so 2-1 the score, and now Nielsen, tongue twisting here, will come back on to the mound.
Now, I think this would be a great moment to introduce our real pro here,
this guy, still sandbagging
color
everybody.
analyst right here, Coach Anna Welsh with Arizona
Absolutely.
Christian University. So she made the drive up the hill to come see us. And, I bet she woke up at 4 a.m. this morning. I know how much she loves this game and how passionate she is about this game. So I'm going to step out and hand the headset over to a true professional right here. And you guys are going to love hearing from Coach Anna Welsh right here. So, Anna, welcome to the program.
As Coach joining us again, Arizona Christian coming up from the Valley. You gotta like it. I mean, it's still 25, 30 degrees cooler.
Yes,
so.
this is good. And just to be back around the game, it was about 94 days since the last time I got to be around the game.
How many games had you guys played?
We had about 27, 28.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
we were right in the middle of conference rolling, and it was just a big blow. It was tough.
Necessary evil, yes. But unfortunately, you're right. It is very tough. So.
Everybody's staying safe, which is great. Definitely puts things into perspective. But this is what we do. It was a punch to the gut.
But softball action is back as Rodriguez fires that down to second, and a 2-1 score. As that is number 12 up to bat. The real number 12, Brian will get that, Ashley Cush, steps into the batter's box for Delsante. She's a big fan of the Wii, as we learned last night. She said she could play the Wii for days. I'm guessing Wii softball, though, so that actually, it's acceptable then.
There you go. Remember, we want athletes, so Wii tennis and Wii bowling is fine as well. Yeah, it's been interesting being up here watching Riley Nielsen from straight behind. You can see, from the broadcast too, the way she releases the pitch, it almost looks like she's going to throw a curveball on every pitch, but what's been neat is she can locate. So that can be very deceptive for a hitter because actually how she releases is a little different than most pitchers, and that takes a while for hitters to pick up on things that are unorthodox. So it kind of gives her a little edge, I think.
Yeah, because I'm sure obviously when you at a young age, when you first teach them how to pitch, they're all throwing the same. And just to get, again, like Brian and I were talking about yesterday, I mean, baseball side, it's a bigger ball. I mean, yes, throwing overhand's one thing, but pitching underhand and getting used to that, it's all the same. But then you start to develop, like you said, little quirks, and you see pitchers do it. And I was telling them yesterday, I think it's funny when I remember seeing Olympic pitchers when they used to, on just a few different sports shows, and major league hitters would be there, and some of them could barely foul the ball off. I mean, they just made them look dumb, and I'm like, that is awesome.
Well, especially
not for them, but I got to laugh out of it.
Right. With our distance is nice too.
What was that? Goes into center field. Van Wickler with the play there.
And just how we can make a ball move up is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I see a pitch start, and that's why I was teasing Brian yesterday, because especially in a rise ball in games that I've called, I see. I'm like, wow, that's going to stay. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the ball's like, whoosh. But I told him when I used to play baseball, I started pitching. Yeah, when they were, pitching a little slower, someone would be eye level. My coach would go nuts because I would tomahawk it. I'd get hits younger, but I said then as you got older and people actually started, even if they were just throwing a fastball or just moving it around, yeah, people knew I like to swing early and often in the eye level. But when I did make contact, though.
It went. So you had a nice tell. I would like to play against you. Once a hitter gives us a tell.
I used to tell the pitchers walking up, don't throw it eye level. One time I said it to a pitcher, do not throw it eye level. Is that pitch by Nielsen? Oh, look at that.
Curveball. Yeah, she hits that corner well with a nice frame, too.
Right at the knees. That's just mean.
That is tough. That's tough.
I mean, good for her. If you're a pitcher, it's not mean. I'm not just siding with the offense, but.
What I like is that she mixes her changeup in well, and again, she throws it in the same position that she throws her curve. So it's a little deceptive. She doesn't mess around with throwing it a totally different way, and that really can be tough for a hitter to notice that, pick that up.
And facing off against a fellow pitcher in weigh-in.
That was the changeup right there.
Pitcher against pitcher. I was saying to Brian, I think that's a pitcher that hits, because I know a lot of times, obviously, with the designated player and the pitcher being flex, maybe not hitting.
Perfect.
So, but I think it's an advantage when pitchers hit, as we'll see.
So here's that changeup again, and you can see it's going to look like a curveball coming out. And so that's why the batter's stunned.
Oh, a nice high chopper to short, fired over.
Beat it out.
But who else to beat it out? The speedster, who would have been going to third from Brian De La Cruz. But it's a high chopper off the infield here.
And that's what you guys were talking about before. That's why we convert people to slappers, because she just hit a routine, just kind of bounced her to short and beats it out. We don't need her to hit a gapper. And you can just see she used the ground. She used the hardness of the ground to put a ball down, and she used that time. She used up and down to get to first. We don't need her to hit a shot to short. She just put the ball down hard, and now we have a single, and that could be the difference of her scoring.
And the very aggressive Ariana Tamro up to bat, fouled off the first pitch again. She must have went back and listened to Brian in the broadcast talking about swinging early and often, but she has been aggressive, and that pitch catches the outside corner. I like her favorite quote. We talked about it yesterday, Coach. She took the Michael Jordan one. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
I love me some MJ. I'm from the south side of Chicago, so he's my guy.
So you got to watch all the Last Dance then, right?
Oh, yes. Yes. Couldn't sleep afterwards.
Oh, is
the shot.
Tamro into center field. What a catch by Van Wickler. Out in center field. And that will end the bottom half of the inning. Van Wickler, actually, I know, playing at Horizon, but again, being a different mindset. She's a left fielder, and now we see her range there in center field and laying out to make the catch. Good speed.
Secured the ball.
Didn't even really have to, got over there. It ended up stunned, like you said, secured the ball, and her momentum took her forward. But Van Wickler with a solid play there. And yeah, as a coach, we said that because playing soccer a lot of times, especially club, you might move guys around if somebody got a card or somebody's, banged up, but you kind of surround them with, not that they can't play, but you're kind of protecting them at that other position that might not be natural. But even talking to club soccer coaches, like, you're playing center back, then you go up to right mid. It is two different minds. People like, you're playing a game. center field, left field. It's two
It is
different mindsets.
There's some mentality differences. There's some technical differences. But think about this. As a college coach, if I recruit 2 catchers that are both studs, I can only start one of them. So if I can use that that next catcher and say she's a really good third baseman, it really helps us. And you're right. The mentality is different. It's a different angle. It's very different. But what we love is that athlete who knows the game well. I was working with a team the other day, and the girl had never played first. But I said, yes, but you've played 1,014 softball games. So you have an idea. So we really want these kids to know the whole game.
Right.
And not just know one thing. We really want them to understand strategy and softball IQ and be versatile. I mean, versatility is a very important thing for us college coaches.
Well, Allison Wayant back on the mound. Again, she is she's a National Honor Society member with a very low 4.667 GPA, Coach. So
I know. I look at, are these typos? I mean,
know.
These kids are just so amazing.
Brian and I were talking about that as a coach. Not that, again, you're not bright, but sometimes you're around some of the kids and you're like, maybe I shouldn't. I'll just listen.
I know. They're phenomenal. They really impress me. I'm just, these girls put in a lot of work in the weight room, conditioning with these coaches, and then to do that in the classroom is so impressive.
Well, standing in at bat now, that is number 6. That's Adriana Coira. Again, number 1. That's
number 1 in her class.
At a 724 with a 4.66 GPA. Oddly enough, I think the highest was a 4.87.
What I love, too, she's number 1 in her class, and her favorite subject is art. So not only can she focus on the subjects she doesn't love and doesn't enjoy, but she can be creative and enjoy that side, too.
Well, I like her favorite vacation spot, San Juan, Puerto Rico, where she happened to be born. That's cool. If she ever needs a luggage carrier, Adriana, I am volunteering. I won't volunteer Coach Welch, but I'm volunteering me
I'll go.
to carry your luggage.
I'll go.
So 3-1 count now as Wayne, again, it's just right there around the strike zone. They both have been, and it is that the ultimate chess match between pitchers and hitters, trying to get them to swing at pitches.
There's a changeup. It's good. A lot of pitchers, they like to throw changeups to lefties because, as you've noticed, a lefty has to move before the pitch is really even at her. Therefore, what we're trying to do is really get her out of the box. So one of the rules is you have to be inside the box when you make contact. If you're out of the box and you make contact with the ball, you're automatically out.
Right.
So now umpires don't always see it, but it typically does get called. If it's a changeup and the batter's out of the box, we can usually get that as an out. There it is again. And sometimes that's our best defense. I mean, that's a soft liner to short, right to her. That's where the slappers are usually trying to go, that 5-6 hole short. I thought the hitter did a really good job, battling that changeup. But I loved that the pitcher threw that and was confident in that pitch.
Yeah, that was Vorseth at shortstop that line to her, and now that'll bring up Van Wickler.
Another slapper.
Yeah, Sarah Van Wickler, who again just. Made that great play in center field to end the inning, as that pitch a little low, a little outside to Van Wickler.
And you'll notice she didn't move through the box on that pitch. So she was either looking, 2 things. She was either taking and she knew it, or she was looking to swing away and try to mix up the defense here a little bit.
So
she's swinging away.
Oh, wow, and that's popped into shallow left center and taken by Tamaro in center field, charging up. And again, you would think that a lot of times I see the outfielders making those plays, and I know they're supposed to be aggressive, but some of them are short. You would think it's the shortstop's ball, but they cover.
Yep.
And they have to cover a lot, as do all outfielders, obviously in baseball and softball. But she covered so much ground there, and I'm like, how did the shortstop not take that?
Well, and if you think about it, it was a lefty up, so they all pulled in thinking she's slapping.
Right.
That's why she went to hit away. So the shortstop was pulled in, center was pulled in a little bit, and what I like about that is the center fielder knew, hey, my shortstop's in, I'm going to take this ball. Right now, the shortstop playing deep, it would have been her ball, but I love that they had awareness on the defensive side to know where each other was.
So Maya Boosted swings
on a tight inside pitch
there and fouls it off.
And I think that's why the hitter was swinging away, because they saw the defense was in. But that's a strategy in itself. The defense played in to make her swing away. It's a game within a game.
Oh, yes. Weighing now with no runners on. And that pitch, well, looks like it caught the outside corner, but climbed up in the strike zone just a little bit too much there.
I like that Amaya's up in the box here. She'll be able to attack a pitch a little bit sooner.
And, well, into right center field as it goes by Their diving second baseman, Elise Kingston. As Kingston had a chance there, as we'll see here on the replay, just drives it right where the ball was.
Yep, low pitch, drove it where it was pitched. I like seeing the second baseman get dirty and giving her team every opportunity to make that out.
So Boosted on first base. As Wayne delivers the first pitch.
There's a shot.
Oh, wow, that is deep, and that will be the first home run of the day as Jolie Benson, and Coach George is talking about her athletic on the first pitch there, got what she liked, and sends the dinger over the left center field wall. And we'll see it here. Look at this, just wow.
That was your pitch.
That
up.
was, yeah, well, it wasn't eye level, but it was up, and Benson is like, I cannot say no, and just crushes it over.
It was great to see her hit the pitch where it was pitched. She didn't try to get too high above it and drive it down. You know, the pitcher missed high, and she took advantage of that. And I love to see when a hitter can take advantage of a pitch. And you know what? That was the first pitch of the at-bat, and she didn't need to see any more.
Yeah, two-run jack right there as Benson drives in Boosted. And now, well, we'll see how Wayne comes back from this, but it looks like Skylar Williams, yes, number 66, up at bat. Solid as a catcher and corner player. So you're saying right there, versatility,
Yep,
Coach.
exactly. And that's what we really do look for. Now, obviously, when you have maybe a really strong pitcher, really strong catcher, you know, we don't necessarily need them to play their things. If we need to teach them, we can. But, you know, we don't need every single kid to be able to play all 9. But we're not opposed to it when it's the majority of the positions.
Right, as wow, she was ahead of that one.
Yeah, she attacked.
Well, she's guessed, well, I shouldn't say guessed right on the pitch, I will say, and got it way ahead of it because she just crushed it towards the third base dugout. So we'll see what Wayne comes with here, how she recovers after that home run, going off speed there. And
that was a great pitch call right there. You know, when a girl pulls one that hard foul, you can usually expect a changeup. I think the hitter may have even been ready for it, but you got to keep them off balance.
So Wayne now
I would throw it again. I don't know if they will, but I would.
Well, she delivers, and that is popped up behind the backstop and communication. And, well, taking it right there is the first baseman.
I do think that changeup set that pitch up, though, and that's what we need to see. We need pitchers changing speeds, because even though it wasn't a strike and the hitter didn't swing at the changeup, it set up that next pitch and got her timing off, and that timing just produced a foul ball pop-up for an easy out, which is awesome. So just the sequence of pitching, the changing of speeds right there was a really good sequence right there to that last hitter, especially coming off of getting hit a single and a home run. I really like that sequence there.
Well, as we step aside, we're going to take another look at Benson's home run as she just crushes that. But she puts it over the left center field wall and 2 runs. So we'll step aside. More action coming up here from the beautiful campus of the Yavapai College up in Prescott. Great softball. We'll have more coming up. Paige Salazar on the mound, pitching now for Delsante, the 5'4" pitcher with a 3.60 GPA. She's defends her positions well, whether it's pitcher, first base, or can play anywhere in the outfield. Has a very effective changeup. So it seems like head coach Anna Welsh from Arizona Christian joining me that You're a big fan of change-up pitchers.
I am. I don't think they throw it enough. I love it. And I actually don't mind when pitchers have a changeup and an off-speed. And so that complements their screwballs and their fastballs and their curveballs. So mixing up the speeds even more.
Lita Vorseth swings at that pitch, grounds it right to second base. No problem, and it goes over to Lostordo, who makes the play as Adriana Kohira makes the play. And Coach Georges couldn't talk enough about her defense at second base. Maybe not the biggest in stature, but definitely covers the right side of the infield very well and effectively.
And that's what's great about our sport. You don't have to be a certain size. There's been All-Americans at the Division I level that are under 5 foot, even on the mound.
Right.
And so that's what's so great about our sport.
No, absolutely. And I mean, like Coach said, I mean, the two things I always say, they've become, you know, cliche golden lore with sports is you can't coach height and you can't coach speed.
Right.
Everything else you can probably work with, and I mean, some people, like you said, have a natural athletic ability to maybe for like hitting, playing defense, pitching, whatever. But height and speed, you can't coach. As Rana in the batter's box facing Salazar, as the lefty delivers there, and that is into left field. Oh, off the top of the fence, and she's coming into second base. Ooh, and another throw a little wide of Kohira there as it goes to Salazar, but Rana will have a double.
Just such a strong swing, strong player, strong athlete. Muscled that ball through. Just great hand-eye coordination with the stand-up double.
Yeah, she's the only one in her immediate family, Rana. This was an interesting fact yesterday, Coach, who's not a lefty.
Oh, bummer.
So, as
wow.
Salazar gets set to deliver, and oh, that's into left center field, and that's a two-run homer, as on the first pitch right there, Riley Nelson just crushes it. And man, we had a home run fiesta yesterday, and these girls woke up and the bats are awake. And the pitching, it doesn't seem like it's been bad pitches, but just crushes that for the home run. And her teammates celebrating there. We'll see it again. Where was this pitch? Oh, yep, that was up. Not eye level, but that was up.
Yep, and she turned on it a little bit in. She actually got her hands through it, really good hands there, and took advantage of that pitch. And it, like you said, that the pitching's fine. I love how the hitters are coming out aggressive. They're strong. Us college coaches, we love to hit. We love hitters. We love seeing that. This has been a fun inning, fun inning to watch. I think Paige on the mound, though, as a lefty, I mean, she's doing a good job there. She just throws an off speed, I think, realizing, hey, I've got to mix up speeds here. Paige actually is coming off of an injury. She broke her collarbone over the winter, actually missed the first part of her high school season before COVID. So she really hasn't pitched a full game since November. So it's good to see her back out there throwing full and mixing up the speeds now.
Well, that's one thing. I mean, obviously, with just getting back to playing, I know maybe playing a little bit last weekend, but I've seen, even though it is showcase style, much more liberal rotation of pitchers, because usually, I mean, like I was saying to Coach, you're going to have one that goes the whole way, as you know, but just kind of easing the arms with that, especially without no school season, just easing the arms back into it. But again, the way they've been throwing, it doesn't look like they've skipped too much of a beat.
You're right. And what I like, too, is you're right. They're easing them into it. And if you think about it, they could have pitched every day over quarantine. But when you don't see a batter, it's a very different mentality.
Yep.
So I think it's good for them to now face batters, face an umpire, have an umpire back there, and really be game-like. I think this is great for these girls.
Well, Elise Kingston at the plate takes the
There's the off-speed again.
From Salazar.
I love it.
Yeah, she is definitely not shy throwing it.
No.
I like Kingston's most interesting fact. She goes, I never wear it out, but I'm actually really good at doing my makeup. I think she had nothing. Look, if that is true, I'm not saying it's not true, but I think she just wanted to be the comical side.
I love
and
it.
had nothing to write, so
I
appreciate that.
Love the confidence.
Like, who was it? Tyler Thompson. Yesterday, everybody's asked who their favorite athlete is. Like, Elise said Haley Cruz. Taylor Thompson wrote down herself. I'm like, that's hilarious. Like, that is just a good conversation starter.
That's great.
by Salazar a little outside. But yeah, she wrote her full name, and I'm like, oh wait, that's herself.
Were you named after a famous athlete? Is that the next question?
Exactly. That is true. I will have to ask her that. As Salazar delivers, and Kingston, well, laid off that. That pitch was high, but a little bit too inside, as Kingston will take first base. And now coming up to hit for Delsante, that is number 5, Natalia Delsante, who's a second baseman, first baseman, and an outfielder. 4.5 GPA, part of the STEM program. So, again, very as that pitch is a strike, and I'm not laughing at that she didn't swing. I'm laughing at Delsante's most interesting fact. She goes, I confuse Robin Williams and Bill Murray religiously.
Oh, gee. Hey, I'm just happy she knows who both of them are.
Hey, exactly. So, oh, and look at that, the swing.
In the hole.
In the hole to short. Can she beat it out? Oh, what a stretch there. Wow, Bilo Stordo at first base. And man, that was a unbelievable play.
Watch the first baseman's foot. I think there's a pulled foot here, but it's an appeal play. So if you notice, the first base umpire, he makes his call.
Right.
So what has to happen now is the coach has to come. He has to ask that direct umpire and ask for a better angle. I don't see that happening. You don't want to be a coach that argues everything, but that would be one that I'd love to see an appeal happen. Yeah. But I love that the first baseman gave it her best stretch, and she gave her team a chance. That was athletic.
And again, it barely. And on the replay, there is a great shot, but it was barely. Again, if her heel maybe had contact, but man, what an effort! As
you can tell that she's practiced that as well. I love that she has probably worked on that. You can tell that wasn't the first time. So I love that she put herself out there and wasn't afraid to get dirty, wasn't afraid to do the splits and maybe, stretch the groins a little bit. That was impressive.
Well, Paige Salazar delivers an Ashley Cush. Now with the runner on second, trying to see if she can drive in a run for Delsante and extend the lead. But there's a strike from Salazar, keeping that low and away and right at the knees on the outside corner.
I love how she can paint that corner, and the catcher back there, Emily Rodriguez, is doing a great job just working with her pitcher here, calling the pitches and framing and really helping her out. There's the off speed.
And it goes to second base, no problem, as Sporto with a much easier routine play there for the third out, but the damage is done with the 2-run home run. And man, again, Coach, it's not a silver line. I know they started playing as competitive and you expect things at a certain level. But these pitches, again, it's not like they've been in bad spots. Not like Meatball's like outside, just got away. But the hitting has definitely caught up this weekend, because Coach was saying last weekend there's a lot of his players that literally went down bats on shoulders.
Yes, and timing is very tough. What I've noticed, you're exactly right. These pitches, when you really watch all the home runs on replays, there actually hasn't been this fatty pitch where it was put on a tee. They've actually been tough pitches that could have easily gotten a pop out or a ground out. So I'm really impressed with the hitters. And like you said, last week they might have struggled, or even yesterday, but man, their timing, they're figuring it out and getting hands through the zone on tough pitches and putting the ball like 215, 220. This is not a small field with a small fence. It's 210 down the lines, probably 220 in center, and it's a 6-foot fence. So very impressive hitting.
It has been impressive hitting. And now we have Riley Flynn on the mound. She'll replace Allison Wayant, number 37 for, and I'm glad you got the number, because I was going to say there's a name, but I would have said Riley Flynn anyway, since everybody else had a number.
Yes.
And she didn't. So she goes to Xavier as well. She delivers the first pitch to Stordo, who definitely been busy down there at first base, and she takes that pitch.
It's always great to make a great play on defense and then get to hit that next inning. There's nothing better for your adrenaline.
Wow. Well, and you talk about educated and a 4.0 GPA. Interesting fact that people don't know, she speaks Latin, does Riley Flynn.
Wow.
Which, again, languages being Latin-based, very solid of her. She could probably pick up a lot. I like her favorite quote, though, Coach. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't look around once in a while, you might miss it. Ferris Bueller.
You know
love
what?
It. I love it.
I love it when they know 80s and 90s.
Especially I mean, cult classics like
yes.
that. She comes in and gets a strikeout. Stordo strikes out, and now Paige Salazar, who had come in to pitch, will step up to bat now. And Salazar, has a very effective changeup for scouting reporting. Yes. To overstate the obvious, very effective. Oh, and that pitch right there. Well, in the strike zone, but she just could not catch up to it there.
Got her hacking. Well, and if you notice, Paige threw her changeup to get those last few outs in that last half inning. She didn't throw the changeup as much early on, and she got hit pretty hard. So I think she learned a valuable lesson there, and I think she's going to be stronger because of that. But if you notice, there hasn't been one home run on a changeup.
Right. Well, and we talked about, obviously, her favorite movie is a classic, too, Sandlot.
Yes. There's a changeup. But again, that was some might say that was ineffective because it bounced in. But just to get the hitter a little bit off, whether their hands start a little sooner, it might make this pitch that much more effective.
So as Flynn delivers, and Will goes just outside there to even up the count at 2-2.
And Salazar's a lefty-lefty. So what happens a lot of times is the defense assume she's a slapper, but she's not. She's swinging away here.
Yeah, I was talking to Coach George about that yesterday and saying that notice that a lot more, that lefties aren't more so swinging away as well. Salazar strikes out there. To me, I'd be much more comfortable swinging away. I had some friends that played at ASU, and I remember one time they were having a fall workout, so they're like, yeah, come out. And so first of all, I'm not left-handed, so it took me a few minutes on the tee to get used to try to get used to swinging left-handed wow, that pitch was tailing up, and she just swung through it.
Hard to lay off that rise ball.
Yep, that's me right there. I'm not going to fault Salazar for that.
You know, everybody says the best way to, hit the rise ball is just to take it, the best way to lay off it, but it's so hard.
Well, now two high school teammates are competitors, as Flynn, who goes to Xavier, pitching against Riley Smith, or Elliott Smith, pardon me, from Xavier. This Elliott Smith is one of the few, too, who love being outside, but she says, and fishing. There's quite a few girls that have parents that are, older soul. I mean, I love fishing
Sure.
too. It's been long. Fishing is great. People are like, if you don't catch anything, you just sit there. I'm like, it's relaxing. It's good, but it is fun. So
I like to say that about them too because it shows they can be patient.
Yeah,
in this day and age.
Oh, see, next time I feel something, I'll say I like fishing too. Because
Yeah.
if I'm playing in some soft, is Smith right there? Her teammate gets her chasing the pitch that may have been outside, and the rise ball strikes her out and ends this half of the inning. So as but yeah, I mean, that again, the changeups, you're right, have been very, very effective, as Salazar now will come back on the mound. But we'll see that last strikeout here. Look at Flynn.
3 of 3 strikeouts in the half inning. You can't be sad about that. She came in and did her job.
Ooh, yeah, Smith, again, a converted lefty, like Coach and I were talking about, and she's, great speed and so improving as a converted. And it's tough because, like I said, you get to a certain age, whether you're territorial about, you'll play other positions, but a position, and you're 12, 13, 14. At that point, we're at 14. Okay, we need you to hit left-handed.
Yes.
I mean, I did sometimes because I had a coach that. Since I like to swing as I got older, but having played soccer, having a little more speed than most on the team, so I would lead off, and he would just say, you can't stick your arm or elbow out, but if a pitch is inside, just kind of turn. And yeah, one time I had a lot of bruises one season, and my mom was like, "What's that?" I go, "What do you?" I didn't even feel it. I'm like, but coach says I have a chance to swing, like the first pitch if it's 0-1 or 1-0, 1-1, but it gets the 2 strikes and it's in. Just take my base. So. Oh, look at this, Mac Media, one of our great sponsors, obviously, of the Fast Pitch Softball in the Wind. Well, with Mac Media, I love it because we are up here in Prescott Yavapai College. Again, if you've never been up here, it's a phenomenal campus. Actually, I was telling Brian yesterday, Coach, that I attended a basketball camp a few years in a row up here in the summer. And, again, just being up here when it's, 50, 60 degrees at night, Granted, basketball, you're inside, whatever, but still, I mean, it was it's awesome. This campus is beautiful, and I know that athletic programs, they've done very well. Their soccer coach, Mike Pantaleone, I think has been here since the inauguration of this institution. He has been at Yavapai for a long time, producing a lot of champions. So
their softball program is so strong.
Yes.
So strong, year in and year out. Great players, great coaching.
So now that's, Riley Flynn.
So she just, came off of striking three
Says,
people.
Well, let me lead off the inning. Miss Ferris Bueller's Day Off, favorite movie,
Yes.
and the quote. So
There's the changeup.
grounded to short. Smith trying to beat it out.
Nice.
The play is made there.
You can ask most hitters, too, what they hate to swing at, and they're going to say rise balls. Most will say high and tight, and then the changeup, too. So I probably will talk a lot about it. You'll hear me talk a lot about it, but it's effective, and the goal is to get the out. So throw the pitch. It doesn't have to be the fastest pitch on the field, but if it gets the out, it's the best pitch.
Absolutely. That's Haley Coos now actually in at first base. Taking over for Listordo, so mixing some stuff up as Coos getting some playing time.
And Coos is another high academic achiever, overachiever. I mean, she is interested in engineering and gets the job done in the classroom.
Well, yes, and more power to them because, again, student athlete, you're not going to worry about them with not getting it done in the classroom, not showing up for tutors and stuff like that. So
exactly.
As De La Cruz, the speedster, trying to get on base, get something going. You see the infield drawn in because they know her speed, so needing to get to the ball right away as that pitch is fouled off by De La Cruz.
Well, and we love knowing that kids are going to work hard in the classroom because as a college coach, it's one area that we don't have to worry about. Now, we're still going to work with them and we're going to help them and we're going to care about them, but we don't have to worry and we don't have to stay on them, and it really does make our job easier.
And look at that, puts it into shallow center, and, well, De La Cruz gets on base, the leadoff hitter. And that speed, again, is a menace on the base. As obviously with softball, bases being 60 feet apart, you don't get the lead off, but the pitch has to be thrown. But how much more pressure does that put on a pitcher knowing that there's that speedster right there?
It's huge, and on the catcher as well, on the defense, because the bases are so short, we have to have the quickest transfers. We can really not make a technical mistake if we want to get that out. So speed is just so deadly in our sport. It's so powerful, and again, that's why we go back to maybe even converting somebody, because really the goal is just to get on base.
Right.
We don't have as much room to hit doubles and gappers as a baseball field does, bloopers kind of thing. We have less room, so sometimes just using that infield dirt, or like the chop we saw a couple innings ago, using the height of the infield is how you get on, and that could be the difference of. I mean, it's a one-run ball game right now. That could be the difference.
So Tamaro took that last pitch as a strike as it ran across the plate. And takes the next one, although, again, her calling card did foul the first one off. But De La Cruz on first base as now Tamaro will see the pitch. And that is popped up as Skylar Williams takes it. Salazar with a nice delivery there. Gets Tamaro to pop up, so De La Cruz will stay at first base. And now coming to the plate, that will be number 3, Lita Vorseth.
That was a really tough play by Skylar Williams. She made it look so easy. So on the broadcast, you're like, oh, yeah, pop up right to the catcher. But I will tell you, the catcher having to come out and looking straight up is one of the toughest plays she's going to have to make. And she just made that look really easy. So those watching, please know that was tough. That was not easy at all. And she just brushed it off like it was no big deal. So Skylar Williams, great job behind the plate.
As that pitch by Salazar just a little high to Vorseth, who, favorite athlete, Muhammad Ali.
Oh, I love that.
So De La Cruz still on first base. Vorseth trying to see if she can keep this rally going. Delsante up 4-3 over captain, and Salazar has other ideas.
Going.
And that pitch outside Williams, well, again, that ball, she just tried to grip it really quick as she kept it, again, in front of her, didn't get away, because there's a chance if it did get to the backstop, De La Cruz is 60 feet further down the baseline on third. And now she's on second, so Vorseth with the runner in scoring position.
I love the call there to center with 2 outs. We've really got to get her to 2 because now she can score on so many more plays, on a single to the outfield. So really with 2 outs, a runner on first is a tougher play. I love that they sent her there. I love that they're being aggressive.
Salazar, just misses the outside corner. Vorseth staying patient. As contradictory as it sounds, aggressively patient, because you want to make the pitchers throw strikes.
Exactly.
Again, with that rise ball, you don't want to do them any favors by chasing a ball that's climbing the ladder. As Salazar with the delivery, Vorseth goes out into right, 4-3 the score. As Delsante is leading over captain, but captain, well, they're going to come up to bat, see if they can tie this up. Northern Arizona softball. See the stolen base there. There. But we'll be back with more action here from the beautiful campus of Yavapai College. Riley Smith back on the mound for Delsante. 3 up, 3 down in first inning. See if it goes any smoother, as that first pitch, man, is just crushed but fouled by Brooklyn Flores, who, well, did get on base last time. And Flores, and she ripped the bat around on that one.
I love that she was aggressive, and I think, her teammates struck out 3 times last inning. So I think she's going up there knowing, hey, I'm not going to get deep in a count. Let's get after it.
Yeah, Flynn proves she can throw strikes.
Ooh.
Oh. See, I would have had the turn and been on first base.
Hey, that's a single. I would recruit you for that. If you would have turned into that, I would be calling.
Oh, my, like I said, 7th through 9th grade, it was just get hit. And I mean, that's the thing. I can steal bases.
Yep.
I can swipe. It's especially reading a bit younger, because you start looking at, it's like, not that they were slow to the plate, but again, getting to lead off is a different story.
Yes. Well, and we want you guys to stay safe. We don't want anybody injured.
Right.
But you know what? If you can take a pitch well and absorb, and it's a single, that helps us win.
As that pitch by Flynn a little high is Flores. She was a 2016 Little League state champion. And her favorite subject is mine too, man. Anyone that's good with math, I'm good with. As that pitch by Flynn.
Did you?
Full count now.
She likes fishing.
I know. I was just about to say to you, another hunting and fishing. So she's definitely got a lot of bait. Maybe almost too much bait now.
It's a good play by the second baseman just to stay with it.
Yeah, and Riley Nelson at first base making a solid play. But yeah, she fought that off.
Yeah.
But
See, and what's nice is there's no rule in our sport that says you have to field the ball cleanly. Yes, we'd like that, but what I love seeing is that she didn't give up. She didn't just pout or get frustrated. I mean, she really competed and wanted to make sure she helped get that out and support Flynn behind her.
Well, now Haley Kuss will come up to the plate. She fouls that off, but yeah, Riley Flynn, man, and I think some of the batters, Coach, have figured out what's coming, but just can't get it out of the infield.
There's the changeup there too. She hasn't thrown that as much, but she really hasn't needed it because she moves the ball around so well, and she's pretty accurate. She hits her spots. And so hitters, like you said, they have a hard time. Really, if they may know what's coming, but, man, she has the ability to hit low and out, low and in, at every location, kind of with ease. it's really pretty to watch up here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy I'm up here because if I could probably take every single swing for a team, and I might foul a few off. I'd probably get that lucky. As Cruz fouls that off. Head coach Anna Welsh from Arizona Christian University joining me. Our entire Floodstream crew. Michael Carciano, we come to you from warm Prescott. It's, I think, barely 78. It might be 80 degrees right now. So we love being up here in northern Arizona. I know, obviously, these girls would play anywhere. They'd play down in the valley, but if you can go somewhere close and it's 25 degrees cooler, I vote yes.
Kind of like that, working smarter, not harder. I'd rather drive an hour and be in this. I was out on the field the last 2 days, and I had to find myself, had to sit down more than I ever have just because the heat got to me. I wasn't used to that, but up here it's pretty nice.
So Flynn with the pitch, and Cruz, well, that rise ball, it started, that one maybe for her. Again, I can't nitpick because I couldn't do it, but started to climb a little early, made it easy for Cruz to lay off that. And, well, that's popped up behind home plate. Ooh, and, well, she does flip the mask off that time and makes the catch.
And I'm going to tell you guys, I know these catchers are making it look easy. That's one of the toughest plays they'll have. I really like my first baseman's taking that away as they can run towards that ball. But what I love is she had confidence. She was underneath it. She knew, and she secured it. Those that are watching from home, please know that's a tough play, and she made it look easy.
Well, as the pitcher to start the game for Captain Riley Nielsen steps in. I figured out who's behind home plate. The number she's covering is a 9. It's, although it doesn't have her, I thought it was Brianna Larney. It looks like a 9, but again, the equipment covers the number up. I want to give her props, but I think it could be Larney, maybe.
I know Grace had a ponytail like that.
As Nielsen gets a base hit there.
Grace Ronan, is that? You know what? That's who that is.
That's great. It's an 8. Okay.
All those rubber bands reminded me.
Okay. See. Thank you.
Great hitter, great catcher, great athlete. I remember those, and so the ponytail sticks out.
Yes, she circled as the cat. Thank you. Yes, the only one in her family who's not the lefty. Well, I bet you she's the only one in her family who could have made that play.
I agree.
I'm going to go with that.
You know, and now I'm kind of okay that she's a righty because she's a catcher shortstop, so I'm actually okay that she's righty.
And her favorite quote, and after this pitch from Smith, and going for the stolen base, it's to the third base side. And she will slide in as.
That's a tough play for the second baseman to come across at full speed. She runs all the time. I love it. I love it. What an athlete. They use her to run. She scored. That's her second stolen base of this game.
Right, but that's Jolie Benson as a courtesy runner. It's number 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're tied up at 5. A runner on second base. Flynn delivers. And that's foul.
So Benson has been their go-to courtesy runner, and that says something. That says something about her. The coaches believe in her ability to run, her aggressiveness, and she's done well for them. She's actually, I know she scored at least 1 run this game. This is a tie ball game, so her impact on this game has actually been pretty significant.
And now Elliott Smith is going to try to get revenge against her high school teammate because Flynn struck her out the first time. As she delivers a pitch there. So 3-1, and well, her teammates thought it was a strike. It was, all I know is I'm up at an angle. I can't really see. It was a little close, but Smith, had the patience to lay off. So Flynn delivers now. Benson on second. So that'll bring the count full. And for a converted lefty, and I don't know from this, I saw a reading before the tournament started, but for however long she's been converted, she does look pretty, it looks comfortable. It doesn't look unnatural. Because
you're right.
The first few swings are going to look very unnatural, and you're probably thinking as a coach, like, oh, goodness. But like anything else takes a little time, but she looks pretty natural with it.
Us coaches can definitely tell when somebody's recently converted, and I wouldn't have known that about her without Brian saying that. Very athletic. She's doing a great job. She knows the zone. And what I love is that it's full count, and there's been a few pitches she's just fouled off. That could have potentially been a ball, but she's not willing to risk that, Flynn getting her 6th strikeout.
Yep.
She has the ability to have fast hands and put a ball in play. So I love that she's attacking and putting the ball, at least, making contact.
Oh, that one a little low and outside. Flynn got her again, I think, in the same area. I think Smith thinks that was a little low in the strike zone. Could have been a ball.
Let's see. The catcher moved early. You know what's so tricky is the catcher moved way early, basically telling the umpire, I want this out. But then the ball came in. So I'm actually thinking it was probably a better pitch than the catcher thought.
What?
So I'd love to see the hitter. I mean, she fouled off pitches that were tougher than that. But, man, it got crossed up. That catcher got crossed up, but Flynn gets her 6th strikeout. Oh, look. Oh, man.
And it came back, back to the outside corner of the plate. So, wow, Ron. And that is Rana, the catcher, who I just let her, what was it? Oh, her favorite quote is the best. It says, "You're not on the bench because you're awesome." Her Uncle Dean.
Okay, Uncle Dean, I hope you're listening. And if you have years of eligibility, let me know as well. But I like that you're just speaking truth.
Because Brian said yesterday, Brian said the same thing. He's like that, he goes, obviously not just, but very positive. He goes, I wonder what he says to players on the bench, like in a good way. I said, probably tells them that they're awesome too. Everybody's got a role. You need to fill it.
You're right. But that's a tweetable quote. I may have to use that, Uncle Dean. Don't know your last name, but might be Rana, might not be.
Yeah, I was going to say. And thank, obviously, Floodstream, great sponsor, putting on this 2-day phenomenal showcase-style softball. And again, it moves along, and Cruz will stay on the mound, but again, all the great shots, all the great replays you see from Floodstream.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
As Cruz comes back on the mound, as we are all tied up, and Riley Flynn, getting off them. She didn't start the game, but she is having a day. And again, to give up runs, like you said, I know the one ball that went to left field, but pretty much nothing really out of the infield, but just moving runners over and doing a great job. So Flynn at the plate, see what Cruz with the.
I love that she gets an opportunity to help her cause. Sometimes pitchers who aren't in the hitting lineup, they can only do so much, but she actually gets the opportunity to bring the bat to the plate and help her teammates offensively. So I know she's probably pumped to be the leadoff, hitter here and help her team. And the fact that she can have control on if they score a run or not is valuable.
Plus, if she ever disagrees with the call, she could say something with a smile on her face in Latin, and nobody's ever going to know what she's saying. She gets a strike right there. Not that she would. I'm just saying, I'm not saying she'd say anything bad, but if she disagreed, she could probably state a case in Latin.
I'd like to hear you interview her in between games, and she just have all of her answers be in Latin.
Well, I would have no clue what she's saying, so she probably. I'll let you do it, though. No,
okay.
I'd do it. That'd be great. So she steps in, and Cruz with a pitch there,
and it's just so good to see that Flynn's a two-way athlete. I think a lot of people think that all college coaches, we only want our pitchers to pitch. But what I tell mine is I say, you know what, if you're in our top 11, 12 hitters, we're going to utilize you. I want to win. I want to win ball games.
Well, it's funny, too, because as Cruz delivers and Flynn, with the line drive down to first as it's bobbled, but she's able to, a little collision there. Some of the crowd not liking that. But she checked to make sure she's okay. And it's granted, I see, obviously, the orange bag makes it easier to protect safety of both. And we'll see here on the replay, but it wasn't malicious. It was just a tough play, a little bobble.
A little bobble by Nielsen, but you know what? She secured it. And actually what I like, she probably wasn't completely sure where the bag was. So instead of trying to race it and not sure about the out, I actually like the tag play there because you're securing the out yourself. Take it yourself. Don't get beat out. It probably looks a little bit rougher when you're seeing it, but no malicious intent there. She just wanted to secure the out. And looks like Flynn's okay.
And Riley Nielsen, obviously a pitcher herself. Oh, yeah, and Flynn was actually laughing when she got off the ground as the leadoff hitter is back up. De La Cruz and goes to short. Oh, and Nielsen, maybe not the fullest of stretches there, but had to corral the ball. Throw was a little low, and she did just that and keeps the speedster off the base as Ariana Tamaro walks up to the plate. And, of course, now that I say it, she probably won't, but I'm going to guess she swings at the first pitch, Coach. She has been probably the most aggressive hitter for Delsante, and if it's around the strike zone.
She's a hitter who knows what she wants and is ready to go. Ooh, you lost your bet.
Wow. I know, and I'm saying wow as I look because she didn't swing, but her interesting fact that most people don't know, she says, I have an excellent memory when it comes to sports. I remember the score of every game that I've ever played.
Okay. What? What?
That's dedication. I mean, even if you go home, even if you don't write it down till you get home, you still have to remember. Now, she probably might not tell you every pitch or every hit, but every game she ever played, she said she remembered the score.
Should we test her?
I would love to do that. Hence, that's why she went with the you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So she took the first pitch, fouled the second one off. We'll see what Cruz comes back with. And it's a chopper to short. Oh, nice field on the in-between hop there as Nielsen corrals it. And but man, what a play there. We get a look. Tamaro, again, that ball was a little low. She went down and got it. And what an in-between hop there. What a beautiful play. And yes, that was number 33, Amaya Boostet. That is, again, having played shortstop and doing it somewhat decently when I was younger, the in-between hops, I can't tell you. If you said, again, fielding it cleanly, Coach, there were so many times, again, I got low enough, but I bounced, it would bounce off me, but I had a base to keep it in front of me and pick it up and throw for the out. But, man, the in-between hops, I can't stand those. And she charged it like it was nothing.
She charged it like it was so routine. And if she doesn't charge it, she doesn't get the out. And she picked it so cleanly. She attacked the ball and she pushed through. She allowed her momentum to come to first. And, you know, I feel like I'm repeating myself saying that these aren't as easy as they look. But, man, she made that look easy. Kudos to her. That was so smooth and routine. And definitely, you know, as coaches, we're starring her name. The way she fielded that ball, we are circling her name. We are starring her name. We are very interested.
Yeah, that is a tough, tough play to make. And, well, Coach saying the top uncommitted prospect going into her senior year as, you know, Flynn back on the mound. And, again, she definitely deserves it because she has just been absolutely crushing it as...
Well, and her composure is so good. That's one thing that I've noticed from up here. I've also noticed there was a few pitches that she felt she missed, and she communicated with her catcher, hey, my bad, hey, I've got you. So she looks like she's in very good, not only control, but her awareness. I think one of the big things as college coaches we like is that when a player has awareness of what's going on, and she's very aware, she's very composed, which is a nice sight.
As Brooklyn Flores takes that pitch into center field, and Tamaro comes over that time, makes the play, and now that'll bring up, well, the power hitting Rodriguez as, again, top of the seventh. We are all knotted up at 5 apiece. Again, coming up to, well, again, they go on an hour and 45-minute clock, so they got into the seventh, and we got about 6 minutes left, so Rodriguez probably would love to deliver a towering shot, but Flynn goes inside there. And chances of hitting one when you're jammed like that, slim to none, I would say.
Exactly, and that's why Flynn threw it there. Flynn knows exactly what she's doing. She wants the ball in this situation. 5-5, 7th inning, change up there. She wants command. She wants the ball. No coach could ever take her out at this moment. I don't think she would ever leave the circle.
So Flynn now going.
Nice, and that's after a changeup.
Yeah.
See, and that's where I like, you know, Flynn's only thrown a few changeups that I've noticed. She hasn't needed to throw as many, but I like that she uses it when she needs to. It sets up those next pitches. Oof. See, that rise ball got away from her, and she even hit her chest to her catcher like, hey, that's my bad. So I love her ownership, not blaming the pitch calling, not blaming anybody but herself. She knows what she needs to fix, and I'm not going to be shocked if we see an adjustment here.
There was a pitch. Oh, well, that goes over the backstop. And it's just power on power here as Flynn, again, like you said, with the changeup to maybe try and bait Rodriguez, but she has no problem going right after her.
That was her curveball there. She's got great spin. You can see how tight it is even from here. That was a changeup again. So she is not afraid to mix it up. She's confident in each pitch. She's not freaking out on the mound. We've seen her rise ball this at bat. We've seen. Here's the changeup again. Just watch the confidence. Throws a flip change, which is a really, which is a changeup us college coaches love because you don't slow down to throw it. You have to speed. You have to stay the same speed as your curveball and your fastball. It's hard to pick as a college coach in third base's batter's box, and it's hard to pick as a hitter.
Well, the full count pitch from Flynn to Rodriguez, grounded to in the hole. Ooh. Well, it'll be an infield hit for Rodriguez, so the battle ends. And again, ball not leaving the infield, but somebody getting on base.
Really impressed by Rodriguez's at bat there, seeing so many different pitches, so many different locations. She battled, and she put a strike in play, and it goes into the 5-6 hole. It wasn't a shot, but you know what? She battled, and she got on base for her team.
Well, we have hit the time, unfortunately. Yes.
No.
I know.
Okay, as a college coach, I hate showcases. I want to see I want to see them fight.
5-5, Flynn rolling. Rodriguez was on first.
No.
Don't look at me. Yell at me, coach. I'm not doing extra running for you, so you don't get to blame me.
I don't get to see Flynn keep throwing that inning. I don't get to see. I mean, Rodriguez battled that at bat. I don't get to see if they bunt her over and if they. No.
Yeah, he actually does. Let me step aside for 1 second, and then we'll bring it in. Okay, well, they're here.
Yeah, we're gonna get to chat with some of the players real quick. So.
Okay.
Well, we are back. Unfortunately, obviously, showcase style was a 5-5 game, but
It's like kissing your
but congratulations, obviously. It was you started off the game pitching very, very well.
Thank you.
And thank you for wearing the right number today. I have to tease you, Allison, because yesterday I'm like, man, Coach has really grown a few inches since they printed these up. But no, Allison Wyatt joining us. I gotta say, a 4.667 GPA. I mean, come on, slacker. No, I'm so kidding. I'm so kidding. But no, I mean, coming in today, first game of the day. And I know just getting back into playing, we talked about it yesterday, but I mean, pitching-wise, you seem to, I'm sure you'll be more critical, but pretty good, obviously very good command. I mean, how do you feel, obviously, just getting back into it, it's coming along?
I feel good. Yeah, I love pitching, so it felt good just to be out there.
And you're obviously also hitting too. I mean, as a pitcher, I've always said if you're at this level, if you are pitching, as you get, you know what to expect from the umpire. He better give the same calls, because you've been painting a strike zone as you get out there. So I mean, do you feel that? I mean, it keeps you, not that you're not into it, but just kind of like more in tune to the game when you are hitting.
Yeah, it's like I can see like more of the spins that are coming at me, and so yeah, I just like know the spins all, and so sometimes the umps can be inconsistent, but they're all pretty good.
And Natalia, I loved your most interesting fact that you confused Robin Williams and Bill Murray religiously. Coach is just happy you know who they are. They're hilarious. No, that's all. But, I mean, getting out there today, I know a lot of balls, I mean, didn't leave the infield. I know you had that one, and I'm not by any means, I mean, the sun is like bearing down on you, but that one, it seems like you had a really good beat on that ball in left field, and it just kind of inched over you just a little bit.
Yeah. I definitely drifted a little, but it was hit. It was a really good hit, I will say.
And defensively, too, because I talked to some of the girls yesterday as well. I mean, that's one of the things when you're talking about pitching, and pitchers might be ahead of hitters, obviously, early on, just because, yeah, you can, take all the batting practice you want at home, but not game action. But defensively, how do you feel that, I mean, playing into this, that you've, I guess, adjusted and or getting back into the flow?
I don't know. I feel pretty good. I've been playing for a while, so it was definitely hard with the break and not being able to play for a little bit. But like Ali said, it was really nice just to be out on the field and playing games again.
Yes, I mean, again, in our lifetimes, no one's ever been through something like this, and it's just kind of frustrating because you're at home, and it's crazy because now you actually have so much time to work out but still sit around and do nothing.
Exactly.
How did you guys balance that?
Well, yeah, obviously we had a lot of free time, but I would hit off the tee as much as I can, or like go do soft toss, and then I'd pitch a lot, and then I still work out, so like when I came back, I was ready to play.
Well, yes, very ready to play. From up here, I'm the best hitter ever, but I do not want to face you. I was saying to Coach, it always cracked me up because you guys could search this on YouTube when they've had like world-class Olympic softball pitchers pitching 2 major league players, and the only thing they could do is foul it off. I mean, they were just, and everyone's like, it's such a bigger ball. And again, that's the false advertising. It's like, oh, the ball's so much bigger. It doesn't matter. Like those, especially the rise balls. I mean that your teammate, that Flynn was throwing, her rise, that thing is just me. I mean, when you see that in batting practice, I mean, what's that like when she's pitching to you in practice and you're like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Because it really looks like it's sitting right there, and then all of a sudden, I get it, it's a rise, but it's at your eyes, and you're like, that's not, I mean, to me, it defies physics. But when you see, like, her on the mound or Flynn on the mound and dominate, I mean, what's it like for you out there?
Well, it's nice that we definitely get to see more difficult pitchers in practice, because then it kind of prepares us for upcoming games. And because Allie's like a really great pitcher, and it's nice just to see, of course, it's just nice to see like more difficult pitching when preparing for games.
All right, and my last thing for both of you is, okay, it's kind of two-part. Who's the best trash talker on the team, and how many times have you made the mistake playing against a high school teammate, and they do something, and you kind of like start to cheer for them, and everybody else in the dugout's looking down at you like, what are you doing?
Oh, when we were playing school ball, yeah, we not many games, obviously, but like when we played like a few teams, I would be like start cheering for like someone on the other team because they played on my club team, and I was like, wait.
And now do you do the same for club though? Like if they're on your school team, you're like, oh, and you're like, oh no.
Not as much, but.
Yeah, I mean like especially when they're like pitching. I'm just like, oh, great pitch. I'm just like, oh my gosh, that was a strike against us. I'm like,
the battle, you want to say like, good eye, but like.
Yeah, right.
Well, Ali Way and Natalia Delsante, thank you for joining us. Obviously, I know 5-5, it was tough, but again, looking good out there. I don't want to face you pitching, and I definitely don't want to try and play left field either, so I'm happy being up here. But, hey, obviously, congrats on the game. I know there's a lot more to go, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, we will be back for the next game, a 5-5 tie. We hit the time limit. But again, that was just the first game, so the rest of the games have a lot to live up to. And we'll be back in the Northern Arizona League here on Floodstream.